again. Fraser Clark, you work at Functional Fitness in St Andrews?
Yeah, that's right.
So what does that mean? What do you actually do then? What is your day-to-day routine, and how do you get involved with the public, and what's your background? I want to know all about that.
Okay, so let's start with the gym. So the gym's based Largo Road in St Andrews. We're a CrossFit gym, so I'll cover kind of what CrossFit is like as we go along. But we've been there since January 2016. So a little bit of time now, yeah. So we're a CrossFit gym. So for those of the public who like know a little bit about fitness and have kind of looked to see what CrossFit is, like, yeah, we're the group of like people that do crazy stuff and run and throw weights around and swing around on, and yeah, that's absolutely us. But yeah, so we are
all the things you used to do when you were younger, I suppose. And well, maybe you're still doing it, but all the things I used to do when I was younger.
Yeah, so we do like to call it adult PE.
Yeah.
So CrossFit, like, we essentially our aim is like to cover as broad a spectrum of fitness as possible. It's just basically that leave no stone unturned in terms of your fitness. So
yeah.
Strength, cardiovascular, flexibility, mobility, balance, coordination, like all 10 physical, like we aim to cover.
Yeah.
We very much look at it as playing like the long game. It's the core ethos is basically grabbing onto people as early as we can and keeping them out of a care home as long as possible. And we do that by keeping their training varied. We hit training at like what we call a relative high intensity.
Yeah.
What people see as like a crazy intensity, but it's all relative.
Absolutely.
And yeah, we cover like movements that are common just in your day-to-day life. So sitting down and standing up, and picking stuff off the floor, or if you fall over, standing back up, like just all things that are essentially preparing you for anything that can happen in life. Is it's pretty much the most simple way to describe what we do.
I think initially for me, when I looked at fitness for the first time, I was terrified when people started to talk about CrossFit, functional fitness, cardiovascular, all these jargon words, and I thought, that's no me. And what I found was actually that is me. But it was the initial fear and the hurdle I needed to get over to think that, yes, this is something that I can do, because it isn't as intense as you would think as a novice. I mean, would that be an accurate description of, just people getting over that initial fear? This is actually for everybody.
Yeah, and that's it, and that's what I mean. That's one of our biggest selling tools compared to others in the fitness market is that our classes and our program is absolutely accessible to anyone, regardless of whatever your fitness experience or background is. So, lots of 90%. So, like, if I look at our membership now, like 90% of our membership are people who had never set foot in a gym door before.
Yeah.
They had just never had the confidence to do it, or they had no idea like what they were doing. And the big thing was that we stood at the front of our class and we told them and we taught them exactly like what to do and how to do it.
Yeah.
So that's basically like the thing that we do. So in our gym, it's predominantly group based focus. So it's classes, like massively mixed ability in our class. Like, you can have someone who's been coming to our gym since the day we opened, so since early 2016, and you can have someone who's been in the door for like 3 months, doing essentially the same workout but scaled to whatever their fitness ability and fitness level is. So like the needs of the clientele vary by degree as opposed to being by kind, like, so everyone's needs are the same. They're just at a different level like along the roads. Essentially, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So what you're saying is it's tailored to them as an individual, and it's not you turn up for one class and everybody's doing the same workout. It's probably tailored specifically to what they need for their needs. I'll probably an example of that for me for kendo. So kendo is something I get involved in now and again, and with the university students at St Andrews, and also some of the other people before. But kendo was always the ability to do what you can do within the means of your physical abilities. You have masters at kendo have been in it for 30 years, but they can't be as fit as they were when they were younger, but they're still masters at what they do because they work within the limitations they've got. They've maybe got half a leg hanging off, for example, but they'll still work with half a leg hanging off, but they'll work within the parameters. And I kind of think maybe that's what CrossFit's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you're pretty much spot on there. Is people come in and it's just very much right. How do you feel this? And we tell as a coach within our gym, we'll say to them, right, here's your workout for today. Like, here's what you're looking to get out of this.
Yeah.
And then over time, obviously, people become educated to knowing like what that requires, but generally. We point them in the right direction as to like whatever like loading, or if it needs loading or not, or like what those options or replacements for like the most advanced movements are. We just scale it right back to wherever it is that they are on that journey. So just to give like a little bit like a clearer example of that is like particularly some of our high skill gymnastics, which is like what all you see all the crazy people do on the internet, and they're swinging around on regs, and you'll have like 3 or 4 people that swing around on a reg, and then you'll have be 3 or 4 people that are doing like something on the reg but not quite as advanced, and then you'll have like 3 or 4 people that are doing something similar but they're not on the regular line on the floor. So they're still like working the same muscle group, still getting like the same stimulus, but just what they're doing looks slightly different. With a view that everyone works towards like doing that most advanced version, but provided they're getting the adequate stimulus and they're enjoying themselves, doesn't really matter. Like fitness is fitness.
It's probably the most important thing is actually enjoying it.
Absolutely.
The number of people, myself included, that I'll go out now and again and actually go out and do running or cycling, but it's so intense they actually don't enjoy it, and they end up saying, look, I don't want, your body or your mind tells you I don't really want to do that again, so it kind of puts them off, whereas the whole thing is you need to enjoy it. That's probably the most important thing.
Absolutely. Like unless you're like a competitive athlete in whatever realm of sport that it is that you're doing, like your general exercise that you do to keep fit and healthy has to be fun. And that's why people come into CrossFit, and CrossFit might not be what they are looking for, but our goal is to make like that class is the best hour of people's day. So like just trying to make it as enjoyable from start to finish, and as valuable for them as possible start to finish. So knowledge and the fitness is like absolutely at the heart of everything that we do. But you're right, like sustainability comes from enjoyment. And is this something that people at home could take with them and actually do at home then? I mean, obviously we're locked down just now, and the fact that a lot of people actually physically can't get out of their house due to maybe illnesses they've got, so they put themselves at risk. Is there something that can actually be doing at home without equipment to keep them healthy and fit and happy? Yeah, absolutely. So because all of our training, like I say, is universally scalable, and this is really what we're going through is obviously we have like our haven, which is the 4 walls of our gym, and currently we're not in a position to use that. So we've transferred all of our classes like onto Zoom, which is what we're using now. So in terms of an experience, our guys are still having coach-led classes, so we're essentially just leading our class from the comfort of our own home. So when lockdown came into place, what we did was we gave out our kit. So all the kit that we have in the gym is now spread out across realms of Fife. And
my dog's got weights in our garage.
Yeah, and really it was so like people. So we gave them like a wish list, and it was like, really, what would you like that you feel would be beneficial to allow you to train to a decent level? So most people walked away with kind of two or three items that was going to keep them fairly happy. And then for those that maybe didn't missed out because really it was first come first serve, we advised that they used a rucksack. So I wonder if I've actually got them in here. A rucksack. Anyway, just like something that they could add a little bit of load into, and give them a little bit of resistance. And with that rucksack, we can mimic a lot of the same movement patterns that we would do in our gym. So hi there, Fraser from Functional Fitness in St Andrews here. Here's my top 5 exercises you can add into your exercise every day, which will keep you on top of your fitness while in lockdown. Enjoy.